I just want to welcome everyone here to our Choral Spectrum Live. I'm Luke Talon. I'm the creative director of the choral department. Stacy, our general manager, will be online in a moment. And please let me introduce to you our two wonderful presenters. Cristi Cary Miller, who is a middle school teacher from Oklahoma. Say hi, Cristi.
Hi.
And Greg Gilpin, our Shawnee Press choral editor and educator extraordinaire, Greg Gilpin from Indianapolis. Welcome, Greg.
Hello, everybody.
We're also glad you're here. We had an original webinar series at the beginning of the summer that went well, and we decided to do one just before the school starts because, you know, this is the time when you're crunch time. And I know a lot of you have started school already, and some of you have yet to start school, and it's just, things are coming at you fast. So we're here to help. We're here to be on board. We're here to be a resource to you. And these two have wonderful presentations for you. I just want to mention that we have an ad code going on. And here's Stacy. We'll be kind of putting that in the chat. And we've got PDFs under the handouts tab that you guys can use.
So now I'll pass it over to Cristi Miller. She is an internationally regarded master teacher, conductor, composer, and arranger. This is her 44th year in the music classroom, teaching currently at Heritage Hall in Oklahoma City. Welcome, Cristi.
Hey, hello, everybody. I tell you what, he said, all of those of you before you start school, in your chat, just tell me if you've started school. I'd like to see how many of you have already gotten into the grind of things. I know that my school started with teachers like on the 7th of August. And then we had students that came in second time for the rotation. So I finally have seen all of the kids twice. Do I know their names? I know most of them, but those fifth graders are still kind of hard to learn. Let me tell you a little bit about me. This is my 44th year. I know this is not color. This is like actual gray that's going on. So, you know, you're living with it. 44th year. And I have been teaching at every level, but for the last 15 years, I've been in the middle school classroom. I left elementary after 21 years, actually 26 years of it. And when I got into middle school, it had changed dramatically from when I had started a long time ago. But I currently teach 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So 5th grade is general music, and 6th grade is the beginning of choir, and 7th and 8th grade to divide them into boys and girls classes. So there were treble and tenor bass classes, because that's another way to label them, and that's a better way to do that. So you're going to get my perspective on these things that I want you to hear and listen to today. And I will tell you that I am in a small school. So there are only 80 students per grade. And so we are considered a small school in Oklahoma, a 2A, 3A type of category. And I have to try to pick music that will fit for younger and for smaller kids. I love and admire those people that have these big, gigantic choirs, but I don't have enough kids in my school to do that. So you're going to see from me a lot of 3-part mix things for your mixed choirs and things that I feel like will work really well. We're going to start right off the bat with a song just because I feel like you can hear all this talking later on. But I picked a piece that I thought this is a great song to start my kids the year off with. And it's Roger Emerson's take on Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi. So we're going to start with that. What I love is that it's going to be an easy way to get on these pre-repetitions. There's not a lot of pre-repetitions. It's need to know this.
They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
Lots of solos in here.
With a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
And your ladies can take over.
They took all the trees, put them in a tree museum. And they charged the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
I love that. Now, I tell you what, we're going to stick with Roger again because he does such a good job of crafting things for all ages, but especially that middle school choir. This next song, I can't believe that he found it. It's such a great little piece to do. I'm definitely doing this with my 6th graders this year. This came from TikTok, and it was a couple of girls that were really talking about bullying, and they wrote this little song called If I Were a Fish. And I don't care who you are, you need to have this in your choirs somewhere. If you want to do it as a novelty, whatever, there are additional verses than you'll see on TikTok, but it really is a great song and that you can have a conversation about bullying and cyberbullying. So let's listen and do a little bit of If I Were a Fish.
1, 2, 3, 4. If I were a fish and you caught me, you'd say, look at that fish, shimmering in the sun, such a rare one, can't believe that you caught one. If I were a fish and you caught me, you'd say, look at that fish, heaviest in the sea, you'd win first prize if you caught me. Why is everybody on the internet so mean? Why is everybody so afraid of what they've never seen? If I was scrolling through and I saw me flopping around and singing my song, I'd say, darn, they're cute, and sing along. If I were a rock, you would pick me up and say, that's a nice rock, skippiest on the lake. Plop, 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 I'm the perfect shape. And if I were a sock, you would put me on and say, that's a nice sock, happiest as a pear. I found you, now I'm not scared. Why is everybody on the internet so mean? Why is everybody so afraid of what they've never seen? If I was scrolling through and I saw me flopping around and singing my song, I'd say, darn, they're cute, and sing along.
Yes, we changed a word in there, and that's good too, because we're going to be able to use it in school because of that. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story that I have had in the last 5 years. And we're going to start with the year of COVID, the year everything went down as far as it could go. And I can remember feeling like we're never going to climb out of this well. It just did feel that way. Luckily, we still had kids that looked interested and wanted to be there. But something happened after COVID where they came back and it was a different group of people. And there wasn't as much interest in my program. I had big booming numbers of kids in my choir. And all of a sudden it dwindled down to, a third of that. I don't know if the rest of you saw that or not, but I have talked to a lot of teachers. They were like, no, I don't know what happened to them and where they went. But I just felt like there was a lot of lack of community. They had been so isolated that they really didn't know how to bring themselves together. So I knew that I needed to learn how to build a community back in my choir. We did all kinds of activities to do that. I mean, name games. We did just sit around in the circle, and they had to do quick fire answers on things to find out about them. All kinds of circle games where they can interact with each other. These are my older kids, just because we needed to build that sort of cohesiveness. And then last year, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, my numbers dropped to the lowest they had ever been. And it scared me, thinking, what have I done? I'm the same teacher that I've always been. So what have I missed doing? And I figured out, I think I've gotten a little comfortable in my patterns, and I'm not really, even though we're working on community in class, I'm not reaching out to all those other kids. We're going to start having a social event once a month, and it can be simple. It can be, bigger, but we're going to do something. I'll ask the kids what they want to do. And these are not going to be for my 5th and 6th grades as much as they are going to be my 7th and 8th grade. So once a month, we made a commitment to do something together as choir. One month we went rock climbing. And luckily, I was able to have parents bring them theirs. I didn't have to bus them there. And I know I'm talking in Oklahoma City, so it's a little bit easier for me to make these things happen. But you can also get creative with things that you could do just in your own school. Another month, we met at a restaurant. Everybody just brought money, and we ate out. Another time, we went to North Pole City, which is this little Christmas shop. And we all shopped for Christmas ornaments and then went out to eat pizza. Another month we went to Top Golf. Another month we went to, Urban Air, which is an amazing amusement park inside. So there was lots of little things that we could do, but there were simple things we could have done too. A Valentine's party at the school. It was a whole lot of effort. And it really, I wondered, is this really going to make a difference or not? After the year was over, I found there was such a bond with my students by going through that process with them. I was as close to them as I'd ever been before. And even though they were small in number, guess what? They talked about it to other people. And they let everybody else know this is a great place to be. Not that I paid for anything. I didn't. They paid for it themselves. And some of those things were free that we did. But they got to be together. And they got to find their place. This year, I am tripled in my numbers. Now, I don't know if it's anything that happened because of that, but I truly believe it did. And I think you have to kind of work in your own programs to do that. Some of you are probably masters of it. And I applaud you for keeping it up and going. I just know that I got a little comfortable and I didn't go beyond what I needed to do to get everything done. And now that I've kind of done that, I realize how important it is. And I'm going to keep it there. So community building is a big theme for me. This year, for the beginning of the school year, we sort of started in that way. For my treble choir, I had them play a little circle game where they had an inner circle. We had concentric circles that went opposite directions so that they could do this little interactive song with each other. In my tenor and bass class, we started with some stuff that they would already know. Roger Emerson's warm-ups, pop warm-ups for guys, Mission Impossible. There's just lots of fun little songs that they do that the guys can just dive right in and start singing. For my sixth grade, we did a little song called Dumb Ditty, and it's in my quick starts book. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. But one of the patterns in that is where they have to make and do opposite with their hands. And that's the pattern that they put with the song. And I always love doing that in sixth grade because I will inevitably have somebody that will say, Miss Miller, I can't do that. Where they're trying to do this opposite. And I'll say, you can't do that yet. And in this class, you're always going to find things that I'm going to challenge you to do. And you won't be able to do it the first time, but you will be able to do it if you practice. And so everybody, I want you to practice this little pattern. And we're going to do it in the next class time. And of course, this was the second class time. And we practiced it and we did it. And it was amazing. They said, it's easy now. And I just want you to remember that it's going to get easy like that if you practice. So just know I'm going to give you things that are challenging because I don't want you to get bored. And I'm not trying to put things out of your reach. But that's the way we're going to build community, is we're going to make a challenge and then practice it. And then in my fifth grade, we did, of course, chocolate cookies, which was a nice way to get them an open round sound. And it's a lot of fun to do. So those are kind of some beginning of the year activities to do with your kids. Let's sing again. Now, I have found this resource that I just think is magic. And I hate to keep saying this is a Roger Emerson show, but he does provide me with lots of things. And Roger, I know that you're probably watching, so you can thank me for all of the money I have spent and given to you because I bought your things. And I'm not alone. I'm sure there's many of you out there. He has a new collection this year called Pop Harmony Stacks. Now, if I were a fish, that tune is catchy. And I didn't realize that there was a name for catchy tune. I thought they were earworms. But I guess they're called bangers because he uses that term in describing the patterns that he has picked. He's picked some banger tunes that are reoccurring parts in other songs that are just addictive. And he has created these so that you can layer in from 3 to 8 different parts. If you only have a group of you only have 3 sections that you can do this with, just do 3 of those harmony stacks. If you can do it with 8 different groups, then put all 8 of them in there. And to be really honest with you, you've got some kids that could do some of those individual stacks. All right. I don't want to talk about this a lot, but this collection is really amazing. I want to say there are, is it 8 maybe? I think there are 8. Roger, you can put in the chat if you know how many there are in there. There's 10. There's 10. That's Luke. Luke beat you to it. There are 10 in this. And we're going to do 2 of them. One of them that I adore is Grace Kelly. This is a Mika song that was made popular many years ago, but there had been a TikTok challenge where people are taking that melody and creating stacks on top of it. And one of my favorite TikTok videos is Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell doing this. And I know you guys have seen this before, but I showed this to my guys, and then we tried the stack, and they were so invested in getting it done. And we got 3 parts done today, Roger. We did it. But here is Grace Kelly.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
All right, now he does those twice in the recording. But you are going to teach it by rote, probably. That's the way I would do it. That's the way I did it. I just taught it by rote and then had them follow along. And honestly, it works like a charm. You could do that with any age. I'm going to try it with my 6th grades too, because I've got a bunch of talented 6th graders. I think they would love that. Here's another one that was made popular from the movie Pitch Perfect, and it's Titanium. So let's listen to that.
You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium.
That and stick them out there someplace in an area where it's echoey, maybe in your atrium or a place where kids gather. Have them do it when there is what was those things called when you just flash performance. Have your guys or your girls or whomever just start that and build a stack on it. And you're going to have all kinds of kids in school thinking, I want to do that. Anyway, a great, great resource for your kids. I also want to talk about a resource that's old, but I hope that you'll take a look at it if you don't already have it. It's called Quick Starts, and it's a book I put together with another middle school teacher. And it's got all kinds of brain breaks in it. There's songs, there's warm-ups, there's ear training, there's music games, there's trips for singing, there's theory ideas, there's sight reading, ear training. It just has a ton of things. And the nice thing about it is the book is small enough that you can pick it up in a class or before a class starts and say, oh yeah, I could do this. That little dumb ditty song that we were talking about is in there. And there's a thing called laser tag that I do with my guys where they have to compete against each other in keeping breath support up to see who can do it the longest. That's a lot of fun too. So those are a couple of things that'd be great for your middle school. Those also work with your elementary, but you'd have to dummy down some of those things to make them happen. All right. Now, I'm going to talk just a little bit about voicing because that's something that I'm doing right now in my choir too. My tenors and basses come together in one class period, and my treble choir comes together in another. I always tell the kids, I really need to hear what you're singing. But you know what? In my tenor bass, sometimes they're real intimidated to do that. I'm small enough and I've been with these kids long enough that they do it for me. But I can see it. Sometimes it can be a little intimidating for some of those new ones that are new to our school. If you ever just want to hear their quality of voice, just have them count for you. Or speak to you. We have a school code and a creed. They could speak that. You can hear where their timbre is of their voice and then place them according to that. Later on, when they get more comfortable singing, then you can have them sing. I do have them sit at the piano and they go with me and we voice while the other kids are working on how to number measures in their music. So that's something I can do. And then ladies too. I just have them, most of them are going to have pretty close to the same range. A lot of times I just like to listen to color. And at the very beginning, if we're singing songs, I'd make them rounds so that we can interchange. You're going to be first, you're going to be second. And then after I've gotten used to that and know where the quality of voice is, then I like to divide them in parts. Usually I put my sight readers in the alto section, and especially in part 2, if I've got an SSA choir, those big musicians that are pretty good have to be in the middle, because that's really the most important part for me. Okay, let's go to another song that I think you will enjoy for your middle school choir. This was a piece that I have loved Celtic Woman singing, and I had actually directed an honor choir, a high school honor choir, and we did a much more challenging version of it. But I thought this needs to be done for middle school. It's called Dulamon, and it's actually about seaweed, and it's an Irish folk song. And I decided I'm going to use the Gaelic language in there because it's not hard and it's not very long. So for the chorus, you're going to have a little bit of that Gaelic in there. But what I did is I put the pronunciation guide underneath the Gaelic. So you don't have to reference it back and forth or have the kids transfer it in. They can actually read it underneath the music. And then the verses are all in English. It's got that 6/8 lilt to it. The story is about a young boy that's coming to court a young girl, and she's very, very assured of herself, and she's a little afraid of what to do, but then she's like, I don't need you if I don't want you. So here is a little bit of Dulamon.
Oh, daughter, looking yonder, there comes a lad away. The lass replies, please tell me everything I should be doing. Dulamon na bringa bui, Dulamon gelach, Dulamon na fare ke bara vinge mere. The lad has every flecks of golden crystals and he glimmers. His coat is brown, his shoes are shiny, they sparkle and they shimmer. Dulamon na bringa bui, Dulamon gelach, Dulamon na fare ke bara vinge mere.
The lad he offers up a comb, the lass a hair he savors.
She tells him she is groomed enough, no need to do her favors. Dulamon na bringa bui, Dulamon gelach, Dulamon na fare ke bara vinge mere. Dulamon, oh Dulamon, 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 oh Dulamon, you let it. Dulamon, 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 you let it.
All right, good. That kind of gives you an idea how that stack works. Anytime I give my kids stacks, they sound like they're a lot more mature. Then it's just an easy thing to teach them, sort of like an ostinato. They have to learn it on top of another one. I will tell you that it's important that you keep that basketball bouncing feeling when you're doing it, because if you don't, it gets too heavy, and it's got to be light and lifting. So as you're teaching that, make sure that you are having them can aesthetically move to get that bounce in there. All right, this next one is a Charlotte Bronte poem, and I love it because it's going to give my ladies choir, my treble choir, an opportunity to talk about the message that is found in it, and it's the importance of living life to its fullest. And they don't think about that right now, but when they look at me and we talk about, hey, let me tell you what I've been through and why I thought just like you did, and now what I know, you know, what's life mean to you and how can you make it the fullest in your perspective. So here is Life.
Life, believe, is not a dream, so dark as sages say, of the little morning rain, foretells a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of blue, but these
Nice
are
baby, Al.
transient only. cheerily enjoy them as they flow.
Yeah, a nice little reflection. And my girls always like a pretty melody. So I wanted to give them something that they can reflect on and think and hold on to, because I think it's important for them to have good messages. This next one's a lot of fun for my guys. I have to tell you that last year I picked Emily Crocker's Cedar Swamp for my guys to do. If you did that with your guys, you know how much they loved it. They came back this year and said, do we get to do Cedar Swamp again? I said, no, we're going to do something new, but I think I'm going to put one in your hand by the same arranger composer. So they were excited about this. This is a French piece that if you were going to learn it, probably do it in English. But if you know the French well enough, you can get it done à pas camarade. And it is about onions, loving onions. And what I like about it is that there's a meter switch. It goes from compound meter to duple meter. And so you get to experience that. You get to talk about the importance of those two meters and how they relate to each other. And then you guys get to do this fun song. Here it is.
Marching along the road, we're a platoon that's proud and true. Each of us sharing the load, everyone loyal through and through. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. And when the sun goes down, we never want for anything. Give us an onion fried in oil, and we will die just like a king. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa. Oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, camarade, oh, pa, oh, pa, oh, pa.
I tell you what, if I'm teaching that to my kids, I'm going to have them march that section just to feel that beat. And that is also just solidifies where that pattern is and how it works. And I think they'd have a lot of fun learning it that way. I'm going to go with Emily Crocker one more time because she has come up with a great teaching resource called Sound Patterns. And some of you may be familiar with it. I don't know. But she's continued to develop other levels. So the first sound pattern, it's all about learning how to sight sing. And she starts simply with, rhythm, and then she starts with simple melodies. And the first book that I think that you're looking at, I think that's Unison, and it maybe goes into two-part. But she has expanded it. The next book she put in was for changing voices. So that was for your tenor and bass choirs. And wonderful teaching stuff. There's easy to read melodies. What I love about it is that she gives lessons, she gives the concepts, and then she actually gives you a real song that you could perform for a concert, for a contest, just in class. But it's using those sight reading skills they just learned in the previous unit and following along and having them learn the entire song by sight singing. The best and most gratifying songs I've ever done with students is when they've done it by sight reading only. And then when they finally figure out, wait, we figured all of this out by ourselves and just using the tools that we've been learning in class, that makes a big deal. There is a third one out now that is for SAB voicing, and it would be for your mixed choir, but you'd have to watch where that bottom part is because it does get a little low. But if I were going to do it with my guys, I would do just the changing voices one because it isolates into that tenor that's not quite changed, still in the higher range, and then the bass voice that's not quite low but still a little bit lower. That sort of shows you a little bit of what it looks like. Easy to read. There's recordings that can go together with it. It's got a code at the very beginning that you can download into a My Library and use it digitally. It's a great resource. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go to this last song that we're going to do. This is an Audrey Snyder arrangement, and it comes from Spirited, which is, again, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. It is just a great message about how the things that you do ripple and affect other people. I think your kids would love it. It's bursting with energy. Here's Ripple.
Every day I wake up with a single dream running through my head. To throw a tiny stone into a mighty stream and watch the ripples as they spread.
Well, we fall in line, follow every rule. But is that something we should really take pride in? 'Cause we're treading water in the kiddie pool.
When there are oceans, we could turn the tide in. If you wanna make a ripple, if you wanna make a wave, playing safe and thinking small doesn't move the ball at all. There's humanity to save. There's humanity to save. Can we really make a ripple?
With our feet up while we float.
2 or 3 to rock the boat. If we never test the waters, we'll never know just how far the ripples go. Do you want to make a ripple, ripple, ripple? I think you want to make a ripple, ripple, ripple.
Question: would you use the recorded accompaniment? I wouldn't, because I have a really great accompanist and we can actually add that same sound effect if I wanted to live. But if you had the opportunity to do that with the recording, it's fabulous. So yes, I don't think I would hesitate if that's an easier fix for you. It does add to that, but this piece will work without the recording too. The message is there. Anyway, it's been fun being with you. I'm going to keep my eyes on you, but I'm going to sit back and let Greg take over. So
Great. So thank you, Cristi. Lots of love. Yeah, heart emoji for sure.
Oh, look at that.
Do that.
You can't do that yet.
She's showing us all how to do that.
because you guys do not.
I can't do the heart emoji.
It's an Oklahoma special, I guess. I don't know what it is.
But no, lots of wonderful material there. So Greg Gilpin is a celebrated ASCAP award-winning composer and arranger and a respected choral conductor. He is a member of ACDA, NAFME, SAG-AFTRA, and a life-loyal member of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia. And he continues to do a fantastic job for us as editor and director of educational choral publications for Shawnee Press.
There you go.
Any further ado, welcome, Greg.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my gosh. I'm so inspired by Cristi. Cristi, I just adore you, and you are always inspiring. You had to have inspired everybody here. Listen, it's the beginning of the school year. I know some of you, I was reading the chat, you've already begun. You were beginning, the beginning of the month. Others are the beginning of September. No matter what, we're still in that beginning. And this is the time, whether you're a new teacher or a more experienced teacher, that you are assessing, right? You have got new singers. You may have a bunch of old ones that come in. You may be at a new job and you don't know who you've got. And so this is when you're listening and assessing and watching. And I want to talk about the very first thing we do when we walk in the room, those first 5 minutes. And those can be the scariest 5 minutes ever, at least for me sometimes, because I generally wake up in the morning and think, I can't do this. I got to run away. So I think it's really important. That is your meet and greet. You don't want to be scared. You want to go in there, and how do you not be scared? You prepare, right? And you prepare those 5 minutes. And I don't know if some of you are in a warm-up rut and you're doing the same ones, and all the people in the back row are singing the warm-ups with their heads back and taking a nap. If that's you, you might be in a rut. Your kids might be in a rut. So what I devised that works for me is I think about the basics in those first 5 minutes. And I will use those basics at the beginning, and then I will incorporate them throughout my rehearsal as I needed. But I think of a stretch. I will do a stretch with them, and I will make room for all the air that they are going to have. And you can go online, you can look up yoga stretches. There's all kinds of things. You know what you could do that, but just one really good open the body up stretch for that day. You need a breath, all right? You need a warm up with the breath. You need a warm up with diction. It could be just repeat after me. Easy, 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 but a warm up with diction, a warm up with vowel. Can I show you my vowel shapes? I begin everything with an oo, and I use my index finger right like that, oo, and then my lips are always like this because I want them to get a uniform vowel. I begin with oo, o, e, ah. And we always have that. Now, you will modify that later, but if you've got a choir that has never had a uniform vowel, that will change your life. All right? It has saved me. And then I talk to them all the time with my hand signals. Okay? That's what I do. And then movement. I might do a rhythmic movement with them. No music, or you can add music, whatever. Just teach them to watch you. And then one last thing I began adding, and I do it at the beginning, I might do it in the middle, but I ask a question. And I ask them, what's your favorite color? Or I might ask the question, did you eat breakfast today? Or I might ask the question, if they're elementary, I might ask, what is your superpower? All right. They all have to answer, and it's very difficult. There are very difficult kids out there going, I don't know, I don't know. You come back, but they have to answer. But it's really wonderful because they get to know each other, even if it's just about the color. You know, all the greens get together, all the purples get together, and you can do other things like that. But it's really important that you get to know your kids, and a simple little question is amazing. So just a little, we've got a little handout, and you're able to get that handout. It's online. Melissa made that available. You can get that. It's one that I use a lot. You're able to download that for free. But here are your warm-up keeps, all right? This is a 3-hour workshop in 2 minutes. Keep them short. 5 minutes. 5-minute warm-ups. Keep it short. Keep it simple and focused. Keep it purposeful, all right? Don't do a legato warm-up if you're not doing any legato in your rehearsal that day, all right? Keep it purposeful. Keep them guessing. Don't do the same thing every day. Approach it differently every day. And then keep learning, okay? And that's more for you than anybody else. I am so proud of Shawnee Press 6x9 books. They're little, they fit in your folder, they're easy to read, they're just packed full of information. And on these, I think they're going to show you maybe a list of these. There are different ones. Wander the World with warm-ups. Wander the USA with warm-ups. These are all little folk songs. Warming up with rounds. I get so many teachers, all of you want another round. Give me another round. This is full of rounds. And what's wonderful about it, you learn it once, but then as you develop and your harmony, you use that warm up again in a different way. It's a wonderful resource. Warming up with rounds. Rhythm Rescue. I think in the chat, several of you are band teachers. Teach those singers rhythms. Teach them rhythms. You have lots to teach those vocalists, all right? Rhythm Rescue, Gadgets for Great Singing. I adore this book. You can use slinkies and paintbrushes and all kinds of things, all right? Then Icebreakers, Icebreakers 2, Icebreakers 3. Cristi was talking about getting to know each other. Listen, if you don't know each other, you will never make beautiful music. You have to get everybody knowing each other. Those are wonderful, wonderful games that you can play easily and quickly. That will get everybody knowing each other in those icebreaker books. If you like tongue twisters, I wrote 115 tongue twisters from A to Z. There's like 5 or 6 of every letter of the alphabet. All right. You can sing them. You can speak them. whatever you want to do with those. And then another really book I use all the time, The Resonant Male Singer, that is by Jake Narverud. It is not only for male singers, it is for everyone. All right. It is a wonderful book of warm-ups. Check all those out. Now, you got to have goals, right? And you may go, look, my choir, we can barely sing unison. All right, let me tell you, if you're singing SATB, guess what everybody's doing in their part? Singing unison. The tenors are singing unison. The basses are singing unison. You have got to learn how to sing beautifully in unison. We put together a couple of books together in unison. These are light, fun, warm, unison chorals, all right? But then we have the next concert chorals for unison voices. This is designed, these are really good concert pieces in unison. And you are able, they have beautiful text and wonderful melodies and beautiful accompaniments. And you're able to begin your year maybe in unison. You may develop now into partner songs. Partner songs are not just for little ones, right? That is why this book was written, to give you really good texts and to do things in partners with middle school and easy high school. Really, truly, it is really nice, beautiful music, and it's not little elementary kid music, if you know what I mean, okay? We think of that with partner songs. And then as you develop, let music live. These are energetic. These are inspiring chorals. You can do them as an encore, as the ending of your concert. They're things like that. And then finally, concert chorals for the developing choir. These are 3-part mixed and SAB, all right? So you have a baritone part or a 3-part mixed limited range. And I think, again, really good music, concert music that you can use all year long at different stages of your singing. So you need goals, right? It's the beginning of the year. You got to have a goal. All right. One of those goals, what do you think? A concert, right? Some of you probably do a concert in September. You got 1 month. I know I have friends doing them in October. All right. They're doing in November. They don't do a December holiday concert. They do it in November. They wait till January. But really a goal is to get them singing, and they do not have to be great yet. All right. You need to have that goal. I had a choir. We were just terrible. And so I said, come on, we're going outside. We went outside and we sang in the streets, and we had people listening to us, and they dramatically became better. Okay. So they weren't great, but they got better. All right. So really have that goal, and it could be an assembly. You might be singing at homecoming in the cafeteria. That could be your concert. It might be just a short little concert for Veterans Day. Lots of opportunities. They don't have to be a big concert. So you keep them shorter. They may be more focused, and you need some chorals now that are quick learns, I call them. You can introduce them at the beginning of the year. They're easy harmonies. They're repetitive. Once they learn it, it repeats and repeats again. And we're going to do some chorals now. The first one is called And We Shall Sail with the Water is Wide. And this is beautiful. Glenda Franklin did this. I love The Water is Wide. Everyone needs to learn that one. And she wrote an original piece with it, and it partners up. Gorgeous. Let's take a listen to a little bit of that. This is the original. Oh, this is the one.
To
Beautiful vowels. Here's a little bit of the Good. All right. Get a little taste of that. You can sniff out the partner song in that, how they go together, and beautiful legato singing. And if you could see me, I was doing all those vowels. All right. Love it. I love that piece. All right. Give me some rhythm. This is about teaching rhythm. I've got several pieces like this. This is the newer one, the newest one. And no notes are sung. It's all rhythm and speaking. It's in 4 parts. Speaking, but you could do 1 part, you could do 2, you can add 3, you can add 4, and you teach everything but the note learning, dynamics, rhythm, the text, all of that, all of that without having to learn any melody or harmonies. A great rhythm way to teach rhythm to your singers. Here's a little bit of Give Me Some Rhythm.
Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some rhythm? Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some rhythm? Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some rhythm? Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Give me some rhythm, won't you give me some rhythm? Snapping to the beat, clapping to the sound, tapping with your feet, moving all around. All the girls and boys, come and make some noise. Some rhythm right now. Hey, hey, give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Hey, hey, give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Hey, 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 give me some rhythm. Give me some rhythm right now. Hey, hey, give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Hey, hey, give me some rhythm, won't you give me some? Hey, hey, give me some rhythm. Give me some rhythm right now.
So you can add instruments to that, little percussion instruments. Give those to the ones that never get a solo, and they can play those. I see movement. I see hand rhythm and all kinds of things with that. It's really, really fun. And it's a different type of piece, when you have a program. Your audiences will love that. All right. The other thing that you might consider in the fall is multicultural. What is September? It's Latin, right? Culture. But you can look at your own area and your community and your choir, and look at the cultures that you have, and maybe celebrate those in a way. And you could do a piece, a folk song. Maybe one of your kids could teach everyone a folk song that they know, that they grew up with. That is a great way to do it. All right, so we've got the first piece is one that I did, Hakuna Mungu Kama Wewe. I did this, I wrote this for a group at Carnegie Hall. We did it with instruments. It's been really, really popular, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's really easy to learn. So here is a little bit of Hakuna. Here we go. Okay, good. It's fun. That's also available 3-part mixed, which is what I've used a lot of. And SATB is on its way. All right. So you'll be able to do that with high school or larger groups. Bambalele, Never Give Up. This is Ruth Morris Gray. It's an arrangement of a South African piece. Very, very repetitive. And it's nice. And it's in minor, which is kind of cool. We'll talk more about that. But here we go. Let's listen to Bambalela, Never Give Up.
Oh bamba bambelela, oh bamba bambelela, oh bambelela, bambelela, oh bamba 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 bamba, oh bamba bambelela, oh bamba bambelela, oh bamba bambelela, oh bambelela, bambelela, oh bamba 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 bamba, oh Bambelela, oh bambelela, 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 bamba 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 bambelela, oh bamba bambelela.
Good. We'll go that far. I know minor and major. That's not minor. Sorry about that. I don't know why I said that. I think I have a note there. Okay, we're going to skip a few things, but I am going to make you aware of minor is important. And there's a new piece called The Listeners, which is in minor. And if you can't do Halloween, but you need to do an October program, really look into minor, and you need to do minor anyway. And minor doesn't have to be spooky. Minor can be happy as well. All right, so make sure you know that. Another piece, Purple People Eater. Hello, Purple People Eater. Check that one out. And then a couple of pieces that just to entertain and they're pop. If you've not looked up all the As in English Madrigal pieces by Nathan Howell, check them out. We do pop pieces as a madrigal. They are legit madrigals. The first one was All-Star, you know that? Anyway, you know it. Check that out. Smash Mouth did that. We've got several of these that Nathan has done. And then the brand new a cappella piece that is all vocal syllables is Aloha. And that is from the show White Lotus. So if you've been watching White Lotus, they have an incredible opening number. And we've got that now done all vocally by Garrett Breeze. And it's simply called Aloha. All right. So there's some ideas for you for the fall. I hope maybe you got some ideas for your repertoire.
Greg, fantastic. And like you said, you premiered, or like those things that happened at Carnegie Hall. You were there last June. You're going to be there again.
I'll be there in November, and I'll be there next April and next June, and I am always trying to program.
Yes, and that's the thing. And I know Cristi as well, who had to hop off to another webinar, also has a Carnegie premiere happening with Mid-America next April. So I just want to let everyone know who's attending that all of the pieces that Greg and Cristi have are all, I mean, they're in front of students, they're conducting, they're working on them, they're workshopping, they're all part of this milieu, and they're getting their work done. So we're so thankful to you, Greg, and to you, Cristi, who I know had to leave, for getting all this amazing repertoire and resources for us. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. Briefly, some Q&A. A number of people, Greg, have asked if you would demonstrate those vowel hand signals again for us.
Ooh. So this is what the inside of the mouth looks like. And I have the kids do it. So ooh, then I hollow it out to O, and then I go to A. See, it's all open, A. And then I do E, not E or E, but E. But my lips are always ooh. E, and then ah. And I have to modify a little bit, okay? That is a great way just to get them uniform. And then you can always, get away from that, and modify it.
Yep. Mapping out the mouth.
Great. Would we ever do a live program? A live program, as in like an in-person type of reading session live program. We do, admittedly, not as many as we've done before. Just COVID has kind of changed that for us, but we do still get out there to the ACDAs and to some of the state shows. So we are there. We're still out there doing that. So.
Yeah, and we know how much singing together in person is so important. And we had a Joy of Singing series for years, almost 35 years. And at some point, if that can come back, of course, we'd love it, because we'd love to meet all of you. We'd love to sing with all of you. We'd love to share everything with you. So hopefully in the future we can make
there's
that.
a really good question about what are your thoughts on themed concerts? Do you stick to them, mix it up? My idea is I like the idea of that. Sometimes I don't want that, but generally I have a little thread, okay? And it might be the word blue. And if you have the word blue, it could be the blues, it could be the color blue, it could be the feeling blue. You could do a lot of things with blue, and nobody has to know in your audience. It just helps you get a theme going. And then you have a different, lots of things. So you do colors and that type of thing. But I think a little bit of a theme is always nice, a little bit.
Some kind of narrative, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Some way to connect it all together.
Yeah.
So one other question that I think was answered in the chat. We are doing a session similar to this geared towards high school that is happening at 4:00 Central this coming Thursday. Looks like Melissa dropped the link in there to register. Thank you, Melissa, for that. Our guests will be Christine Bass and Raul Dilworth. So both fantastic presenters in their own right, and a lot of good things there to share with you too. So we just want to thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you sticking through some of the technical challenges we had, but we all made it to the end, so that's a really good thing. Thank you to Greg and to Cristi, to my colleague Luke Talon, and to Brittany and Melissa behind the scenes for making this all happen so seamlessly. We could not do that without you. So
right.
Very best wishes to everyone for a fantastic school year. We are here for whatever you need. choral@halleonard.com. And with that, I will bid you all a fantastic evening. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great year. We'll see you.
Yeah.